and welcome to the Graduate Research Assistant Training on Research Compliance and Ethics. My name is Donna Eaton, and I'm the Director of Research Compliance and Ethics, and we're located under the Division of Research and Economic Development in the Fort IRC building. Today I hope to equip and engage you in laws that apply to research. It is very important that you understand that even though you know that you have professional standards and that you have ethical standards, that there are also laws that apply to research, and in order for us to have undeniable respect for our research, and in order for us to avoid personal, professional, and legal consequences for ourselves and a university, that we must function and adhere to those laws. So let's get started. Let's discuss public health service financial conflict of interest. This is a requirement by any public health service agency that any PI, co-PI, students, postdocs, or trainees disclose their financial interests. A significant financial interest is $5,000 or more equity, ownership, or interest in an agency that is funding your research. Financial conflict of interest is a significant financial conflict of interest that is determined to be related to the research and must be managed to prevent bias. And so you have to take training initially upon funding, and then every 4 years, or if you are new to A&T, or if the policy changes. Now that we have gone over the various areas of compliance, let's use some scenarios to help you understand what may be required of you in certain situations. So we have student A, who is an industrial and systems engineering student. He is studying tacit knowledge and using computerized battlefield scenarios for human participants to sit at a screen and make decisions based on the scenarios that they see on the battleground. Because human subjects are being used, the Institutional Review Board would need to approve the protocol. If it is funded by a federal agency, an example I have here is the Department of Defense, and the contract has a restriction for foreign nationals, then export control screenings may be involved. Let's go to student B. Student B is an animal science major, using a rat model for research and studying breast cancer. Because this student is funded by the National Institute of Health, they're going to be required to take responsible conduct and research training. Because they're using a rat model, they'll be required to have their protocol approved by the IACUC. And because they are funded by NIH, and NIH being a public health service agency, they will have to do financial conflict of interest disclosure and take the financial conflict of interest training. And last we have student C. Student C is a computer engineering major. They are studying a remote sensor for satellites. They're funded by NSF. NSF again requires responsible conduct and research training for anyone that they fund. And because remote sensors for satellites is listed on the federal munitions list, then export control screening and approval will be required. Now let's talk about research misconduct. Research misconduct is defined as fabrication, falsification, plagiarism, or other practices that seriously deviate from those that are commonly accepted within the scientific community for proposing, conducting, or reporting research. Or it's a material failure to comply with federal requirements for protection of researchers, human subjects, or the public, or for ensuring the welfare of laboratory animals, or failure to meet other material legal requirements governing research. Research misconduct does not include honest error or honest differences in interpretation or judgments of data. Now, who are our stakeholders in making sure that we don't have incidents of research misconduct? The principal investigator, research assistants, all other students, the university officials, chairs and deans, compliance staff, funding agencies, and the public at large. For non-compliance, it brings a different light to research, and it brings a different light to university. There's a heightened awareness, though, because consequences will occur, such as investigation by regulatory agencies. We could be fined by the agency or by the government. There will be public scrutiny if it hits the headlines, if we've just discussed about some of our cases. And this really affects the public's trust in our research community and in our university. And then it may affect laws. More rigorous requirements may result from non-compliance across the board in the research community at large. So to prevent that, that's why responsible conduct in research training has become more to the forefront and become required by NIH and NSF. That's why the compliance committees scrutinize the research projects very carefully. That's why we always have processes that involve some form of auditing, and at times there will be allocation of resources and changes in that because we see that there is a need to do so, probably based on some of our audits and then some of the level of non-compliance that we are seeing on our campus. Case in point for research misconduct, this gentleman was the lead investigator on a study involving the beneficial properties of resveratrol in red wine. He had some astounding results. For years we believed that there were positive effects of resveratrol in red wine, and so we had people thinking, that if you take red wine once a day, that it was good for your heart. However, he used splicing to fabricate his lab results, and as a result of the research misconduct investigation, the committee found 145 counts of fabrication and falsification of data. The university declined about $890,000 in federal grants that he was going to be awarded, and then 11 scientific journals were notified so that they could retract his published articles. Let's look at the definition of plagiarism according to MLA. Plagiarism refers to a form of intellectual theft that has been defined as a false assumption of authorship, the wrongful act of taking the product of another person's mind and presenting it as one's own. In short, to plagiarize is to give the impression that you wrote or thought of something that you in fact borrowed from someone else. Notice this last part says the impression that you wrote or thought of something. So it is possible to plagiarize someone else's idea, not just their writing. Here are some issues with citations. A reference citation allows the reader to explore in more detail a given line of thinking or evidence. Consequently, it's very important for authors to strive for accuracy when listing references in manuscripts. Always have sources cited in your paper on your reference list. And then you can also use a bibliography, which is a list of sources consulted for background or for further reading. Here are some common misleading citation practices. Listing sources in the body of the paper or on the reference list that were never read. Use an acceptable means of informing a reader where you have obtained the information. For example, in APA style, you would indicate in the body of the paper a study by Seidenberg and McClinton, as cited in Coulthard et al. 1993, demonstrates that. Here are the many forms that plagiarism can take. Insertions, which are material that is copied verbatim from the source with additional words or phrases inserted into material from the original source. Reordering, materials copied verbatim from the source again with A, sentences in a different order, or B, words, or C, clauses in a given sentence in a different order. Substitution. Material is copied verbatim from the source with a synonym or phrase substituted for words or phrases of the original source. Direct plagiarism, which is a material of substantial length that is copied verbatim from the source without attribution or the use of quotation marks. Truncation. Material is copied verbatim from the source with the original shortened by the deletion of beginning or ending words or phrases. Excision. Material copied verbatim from the source with one or more words deleted from the middle of sentences. Change of tense or person or number. Materials copied verbatim once again from the source except that verb tenses have been changed, like from past to present, or the person of pronouns has been changed, such as from first to third person, or the sense of the sentence has been changed from singular to plural. Change of voice. The material is copied essentially verbatim from the source, with sentences in the active voice changed to passive or vice versa. Next, we will discuss a case from the National Science Foundation's semi-annual report to Congress. This was the March 2013 edition. The headline read in the report, NSF-supported graduate student admits to data fabrication and falsification. This was a former graduate student, not current to the university involved. The student conducted NSF-funded research at an Illinois university, admitted that he fabricated and falsified data in a publication and in his dissertation for his PhD. The university revoked that PhD and requested that publication be retracted, and then NSF debarred the student for 3 years. So can students be investigated by the feds for research misconduct? Absolutely. And in this case, you can also see that the university can act and retract the degree. Now let's talk about what to do if you're on the other side of research misconduct. You witness it, or you think you've witnessed something that is not appropriate. Whistleblowing is a disclosure by a person, usually an employee in a government agency or private enterprise, to the public or those in authority of mismanagement, corruption, illegality, or some other wrongdoing. Here's how to avoid whistleblowing. If time and circumstances allow, put it in writing. Place your thoughts in order and have something to present other than gut feelings. Written documents are great, and if you have any, they can provide protection. Seek the opinion of those you trust, persons within your immediate group or outside experts from your profession. How to blow the whistle. Think carefully about what to do. Continue to do your job and meet your responsibilities as if you were not the complainant. If you choose to engage in whistleblowing initiatives during time owed to the university or the organization has a right to say how it's to be done. Talk to others whom you trust again, and consider whether there is any reasonable way to work within the system by going beyond the first level of authority before formally breaking ranks. In following these research compliance guidelines, we want to also emphasize that you as a graduate student must take care of yourself. So that's why the first level of this circle is biosocial well-being. And then you also have your professional codes of ethics that will be spread out according to whatever your major or discipline is. Then we have the standards for responsible conduct in research. And all of these get us to the undeniable respect for our research. If you want to report suspected unethical behavior, you can use the university hotline. It is confidential and available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Number being 877-507-7313, or you can go online to reportlineweb.com/NCATSU. You can also contact me as your research integrity officer. Should you contact me, we can discuss the situation as hypothetical. However, hypothetical situations don't yield enough information for an investigation. or you can give me detailed information, and I will do my best not to disclose complainant information. Also, you can go online to City Training from our Office of Research Compliance website under the Institutional Review Board. You may also access information at the federal level for the Office of Research Integrity website. This concludes our training. Again, my name is Donna Eaton, and you may reach me at dheaton@ncat.edu. Also, you may reach me through our website. Thank you, and I hope you are equipped, and I hope you produce undeniable respect for your research. Thank you.